Hi, ladies and gents. Welcome to CEO Meets. I'm absolutely delighted today to be joined by Rebecca from Get Ahead VA, one of our very, very new members to the association. So, Rebecca, let's first set the scene. Talk to us about what your business is and does in the marketplace.
Absolutely. Lovely to be here, Pip. Thank you. So I run an outsourcing agency. So we provide remote business and marketing support for the busy business owner. So we span the whole of the UK, and ultimately we give our clients their time back so that they can actually concentrate on what they do best or where they need to sort of focus on. So we support anyone from a startup that's got a very clear vision right through to more established businesses with a growing team.
And have you seen an uplift in business? I'm guessing with the pandemic where people are maybe making some cutbacks internally for them outsourcing. So are you busier now than you've ever been?
Yeah, no, interesting point. But yeah, definitely. And new services that have come on board. So Zoom facilitation, for example, has been a big one. So we've supported quite a few summits and conferences doing the tech behind that. And that was a service, we'd never have had on our bucket list before the lockdown. And also not having to say to people, yes, it's all right for our team to work from home, don't have to do that education bit anymore, because obviously everyone's doing it. And I think actually we're getting some sort of admiration for the fact that for the last 10 years since I set the business up, all my team have been remote and have always worked from home.
Oh, wow. So 10 years in the business, you've gone on down the franchising route. What made you decide to franchise?
Yeah, good point. So I was probably 5 or 6 years in. And although we've always had clients around the UK, I'm based in Guildford in Surrey. So we've naturally grown from there outwards. I knew that, the classic people buy from people, and that actually you need to see people more than once for them to actually establish some rapport and understand more about your business. So for me, it was, how do I expand regionally? So originally I looked at trying it in Bristol, where I was paying for someone to go networking. But then it got to the stage that although she was proving that she could sell us into other people, I needed to, how long's a piece of string? And I was funding her to go networking, and actually I needed something a little bit more formal. So that's where the franchise term came in.
Okay, so far, what's been your kind of biggest barrier, biggest challenge in going down the franchising route?
Yes, so I think for me, a lot of it was actually having to spend the time doing the manual, working out how the business operates, because so much of it is in your head, isn't it? And you think, oh, just me, I just
Absolutely.
go. So I remember thinking, man, I've got to spend hours. And the manual seemed to sort of take over my life for a few months. But I would say to anyone thinking about franchising, it's so important to get that right. And that I can now see, the value in making sure that all your processes are documented. And we're now we've doubled the size of a franchise in lockdown, and we're going through what my franchise consultant described as sort of growing pains, because suddenly things need to be documented in a slightly different way, and people have got opinions, and they're wanting to see things in a slightly different way. But it was, for me, the biggest challenge was getting everything in place. But then actually once that was there, the scaling of the number of franchisees was much easier.
So you've taken the right advice, and nothing ever, I think, prepares anyone for the fact that you're going from doing what you did every day to becoming a franchisor, where you're managing sort of franchisees. But you've worked with some great people in franchising. What for you sort of drove you to working with some of our affiliates? I know you've worked with Ashton's and with Vicky as well.
Yes, so I started working with Barclay Harris. So I've met Barclay at an exhibition. He sort of said to me, right, and I love the fact he was interested in my business. And then he was sort of talking to me about my longer term goals, and I sort of talked about the region expansion. He spoke about franchising, and I don't know why, I'd always sort of seen it as, the greedy franchise owner that takes the cash and you never hear from them again. Because of course, naturally, everyone always talks about the negative experience, don't they? So Barclay was a huge advocate of how franchising could work. And I was really excited then when he introduced that model to me, and we worked very closely to check that my business would be scalable in that way. So we did a lot of work together on that. And then he recommended me to the fabulous Vicky Mittman, who has always been my legal source of knowledge. And I ring her on a regular basis, and it's been great. And I sort of describe them as my professional family. And that is really important to me, that I've got those go-to people that I know will always give me an honest answer, but they've also got the knowledge and they know where I need to go to get sort of the answer that I'm looking for.
It's the thing I love most about franchising, is this kind of community, this franchise family that we kind of all live in. It took you a little while to join the BFA franchise family. And everyone has different reasons for that. But in terms of your experience, we do come across sometimes as perhaps a little bit unachievable in the marketplace when you're new to franchising. Your experience is probably a little bit different now. You've been through the process. If you were to give someone some advice as a new franchise owner, why would you say joining the BFA would be a better thing earlier on in their journey now that you know what you know? Now
I know what I know. We described it already, the support that you give. I think when I looked at it, when I first started, I thought, well, the BFA, I can't possibly be part of them because they're all so established and they know what they're doing. And actually, it's bonkers looking back, because I probably needed you even more then at the beginning. So I would say to anyone looking, don't stop and make an assumption that you couldn't actually fill the criteria. I think that was the other thing. I remember when Andy sent me the list of things I needed to complete, I remember being a bit daunted, and he said, you just take time to read it. And I remember thinking, I've got so much to do. Actually, it didn't take long at all. And it was about just being systemized in my responses to it. And I love the fact that you are as thorough as you are. So that then gives credibility to the whole process as well. Fantastic. So you've already got 100% of your franchisees signed up for franchisee membership. What's the benefit, do you think, of your franchisees belonging to the association as well as yourself? Well, that was a huge draw for me, actually, Pip, because I realised it wasn't just my relationship with the BFA, it was actually what we can do across the board. And it was a lovely thing for me to be able to offer my franchisees as well and say to them, look, aren't we privileged to be part of this? And I also think, possibly selfishly, we can support your other members with a whole variety of skills and services as well. So I think for us, it's about open networking, learning from others and being in that franchise community. And I felt it wasn't just exclusive to me then. It was a lovely thing to be able to offer. And that's what I talk about, when I'm onboarding new franchisees. So I'm talking to somebody at the moment and have mentioned you guys, and it elevates us as an opportunity, I think, as well. Well, that's brilliant. Well, I hope you've put in place a member-to-member offer already. If you haven't, I'll talk to you about that in a moment. Yes, I need to do that. What's your kind of big goal for the next sort of 12 months? What would you like to achieve as a new franchisor in the marketplace? Yes, so I think definitely expansion of more franchisees. I'm much clearer now 3 years in on what my ideal profile is of a franchisee. And I'm also talking to somebody in Australia. So I've just applied for our Australian trademark. So I'm excited about that and excited about the strategy and what's in place for me as the founder of the business. Okay, so if I was to ask you what the top 3 attributes you look for, then you said you've got your ideal kind of profile. What's the kind of top 3 things that you'd look for in somebody to be part of your brand? Okay, so top 1 is a very, very strong communicator and a natural listener. Can't bear it when you mix with someone and they don't even listen to what you're saying. They're jumping the gun all the time. So communication is top of my list. Experience of running a team, because my franchisees don't do the client work. They go networking, they find the ideal clients, and then they match them to our pool. We've got a team of over 40 business and marketing specialists. So I don't want the doers. I want someone that's got that overview and is keen to scale. And I guess someone that's clearly motivated and will take this seriously, as it's such a wonderful opportunity in the longer term as well as in the short term. Okay. And final question then. Where do you want to be? Franchisee numbers and growth. Where do you want to be in 5 years? So I want to be known as the go-to franchise for outsourcing and flexible working. So I'm a huge advocate of what we give in the sense of such a professional add-on to any business of any size. So I think that ultimately is what I'd like to be known for in the UK and hopefully further afield as well. That sounds brilliant. Well, we can definitely help you when you're looking at international expansion as well, because we've got some great links. Rebecca, thank you so much for your time today. It was really nice to get a picture of your brand and how you're looking to develop in the marketplace. Oh, thanks, Pip. I've loved it.